Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in Dallas, Texas. I wanted to make a video about ZEP, Industrial Purple Cleaner and Degreaser Concentrate. This cleaner here, I'm in love with Super Degreaser by Meguiar's when I'm doing engine bays or doing any type of heavy degreasing. This stuff here dissolves extreme grease, oil, and dirt buildup on engines, equipment, and more. I buy this stuff at Lowe's. It costs somewhere around, I want to say it's like $10 or $11. It says it makes up to 25 gallons if you're going after light soiling. But I typically, when I use this stuff, I use it in a 32-ounce bottle. I dilute it 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 in this 32-ounce bottle. I just wanted to make a video on its ability to be able to cut through grease and grime. It's an alternative for those who, listen, I don't want to buy stuff in a gallon. I don't want to order it online. Again, this is by the gallon, but it's really easy to get. It's at Lowe's. I think Home Depot carries it. Maybe it's just Lowe's. I can't remember. Hopefully the wind isn't screwing things up, guys. I'm sorry if it is. But I wanted to show this stuff in action and why I think it's a great alternative to Meguiar's Super Degreaser. It's right up there with it. It has the ability to cut through grease and grime. I'm going to use it on this engine bay quickly just to show you how it breaks down grease, grime, dirt, dust, you name it on this engine bay. And, you know, this is one of those products that I keep a couple of gallons in stock with me, keep a gallon with me in my truck, keep a gallon at my home. I find so many different places to use it. It is an alkaline-based cleaner, and it's, I hate to use the word aggressive, but I'm pretty sensitive to it. Super Degreaser I can get on my hands and it doesn't bother me. This stuff, if I get it on my hands, and again, look, I'm not even wearing gloves, but I'm going to try to make the video not so greasy, slimy, and kind of keep it clean. But it says, you know, this is a, don't use on any areas that might be alkaline sensitive. Well, Super Degreaser is alkaline based, so is Meguiar's all-purpose cleaner. It says not to use on painted surfaces. This would be like latex or enamel, like the paint that's on your home or inside your home. You wouldn't want to use this on paint. It will strip paint. It will break down paint. So will Super Degreaser. But as far as paint on modern day cars, as far as them being clear coated, this is perfectly fine. I haven't had an issue with it. I find this stuff, in some cases, actually cuts through grease and grime better than Super Degreaser by Meguiar. So I just wanted to show how this works. I got a lot of people asking me, I'm interested in getting into auto detailing. Do I have to buy all those products that you get? Here's the bottom line. You don't. You don't have to overthink it. I use them because I've been using them so long. I'm comfortable with them. But I'm going to show you how this stuff works. Now in this engine bay here, I haven't rinsed it with any water. I'm just going to spray this cleaner on it straight and then go in there and start agitating and degreasing if you want. But this stuff here, when I start to spray it, one of the things that I can tell you that it does better than Super Degreaser, I actually see it starting to break down the grease and grime even before I agitate it. And to me, that's pretty impressive. Is it too powerful for rubber hoses, plastic, and stuff like that? I haven't seen that issue. I haven't seen an issue with clear coat that's on paint. You know, again, use it at your own risk. Play with it, trust but verify. But I just find this stuff absolutely amazing when it comes to engine bay cleaning. It just makes my job easier. I'll spray it on plastic. It seems to be perfectly safe for plastic. Again, it's alkaline based, so if this thing blows back in your face like that, it may agitate you a little bit or aggravate you a little bit. I'm just going to wet my brush a little bit. Get it a little bit moist, right? Love that word. And I'm going to go in here and just simply start agitating the areas that I sprayed. This ZEP Industrial Purple Cleaner. Come in here, hit it. Obviously, I'm trying to make a video. I'm not trying to be super efficient here, but I just wanted to show you its ability to cut through grease and grime, why I keep it, why I use it, even though I'm a huge fan of Meguiar's Super Degreaser. This stuff is so easy to get your hands on. It seems to be a little bit more powerful in situations than Meguiar's Super Degreaser, so I want it in my arsenal for some pretty tough, heavy jobs. Again, I'm not only cleaning engine bays in like cars, trucks, vans, cars, you name it. I get called out to do undercarriage. I get called out to work on tractors. I get called out to work on industrial engines to clean them. This stuff works really well. I'm just going to rinse this off and then just show you the effect of the cleaner. This stuff, to me, I don't know if the video's picking it up, but there was grease and grime and dirt on the hoses, took it right off. There was a little bit of grease and grime on top of the alternator, it took it off. There's times with this stuff I don't even have to agitate. Like the Firewall, for instance, in the back. Sometimes I'll have to get a long brush, maybe use one of my wheel brushes, my easy detail brush, or another brush to get in there. But I can simply take this stuff and spray it on the back firewall. That's painted, it is painted, but it's clear coated. So it's not a huge issue. You don't want it to let it dry or dwell on the surface for too long. But as I spray this stuff on that back firewall that does have grease and grime on it, this engine hasn't been cleaned in a while, it's just breaking it down as I spray it. Some people might go, wow, that's a little too aggressive. Here's the brake cylinder area. I won't even agitate it. I'll just go ahead and I'll move the camera in a minute and show you what I'm doing. But on this back firewall, sometimes it's tough. You know, you sit here and you want to get a brush, agitate. You can't reach if you're working on a big engine. Sometimes this stuff, far better than Super Degreaser by Meguiar's, just spraying it on that back firewall. That is clear coated, it is painted. I'm not going to let it dry and dwell on the surface. I'm just going to hit it, and then I'm going to hit it with some water and see how it does. Again, when I do, I'm going to pick up the camera so it's going to get a little shaky. But when I do engine bay detailing, I don't use a pressure washer. I don't want high pressure inside here. I just use that old-timey garden hose. But the grease and grime that it was able to take off this engine, and here's the back firewall that's painted. Yes, I probably should have brought you in here before to see the grease and grime that was on it. But simply spraying it and letting it dwell for about 10-15 seconds and hitting it with water, not high pressure, I was able to break down a lot of it. Yes, there's some grease and grime on there that I'm going to have to still kind of go ahead and agitate with my brush, which I'll do right now. I'll agitate with it. I've even rinsed it already, but there's still some residue of the cleaner there. It had begun to break down some of the grease and grime on there, and now it's just with an agitating with a brush, it just comes off really easy. I know it's shaky, guys, bear with me. Let me grab the end of my hose and I'll spray it on that area that I just agitated. Now, to me, that's pretty impressive that I want to call it Super Degreaser, but it's Zep Industrial Purple cleaner. You can buy it at Lowe's. Just spraying it on that back firewall and then agitating it. It just, to me, instead of Super Degreaser, this stuff is far more aggressive. I have not seen issues with it degrading, breaking down any type of plastic or rubber hoses, any issues with the paint. You know, again, this paint is clear coated, it's wrapped in a form of plastic, there's no issues with it. But when it comes to making my life easier, spraying an alkaline based cleaner on the engine, lightly agitating and then rinsing off. This is one of the best cleaners I have seen on an industrial grade that is readily available. You can go walk right into Lowe's to get it. Zep Industrial, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. Zep Industrial Purple Cleaner and Degreaser. I'll leave a link for it, but you guys can find it at Lowe's. That's where I get it. This stuff just eats through all sorts of grease and grime. Again, all I did was spray it, lightly agitate it, and then rinse it off with no high pressure, no power washer, and it just does a phenomenal job. I'm impressed with it, and it's half the cost of Meguiar's Super Degreaser. I've been using it for several months. I don't see any issues on plastic. I don't see any issues on paint. Of course, I don't want it to dry there and dwell on it and just stay there and dry up on paint. I'm gonna rinse it off. Here's an area here. I'll use this brake cylinder here, the reservoir for the brake cylinder. God, I'm so shaky here with holding this thing, sorry. But all I'll do is simply spray it on that plastic and on the reservoir for the brakes, on the cylinder, just spray it. I won't even agitate it, and then I'll rinse it off. There's some grease on the top of this thing, probably using way too much, guys, right? But there you go, I'll spray it on there, I'll let it dwell, and now I'm gonna hit it with a hose. Sorry, I know it's annoying to move around like this, but here I go, I'm gonna hit it with the hose. Do I need to agitate? Absolutely. I still need to agitate, but it broke down so much of that grease and grime on there without agitating it. Now I've rinsed it off, and I can just simply take a brush, come in here, clean this off if I want around the cap, get that all nice and clean, get around the cylinder there. Be careful when you're poking your brush in here, you don't want to break anything. But to me, I can't do that with Meguiar's Super Degreaser. I just can't. Unless it's superficial dirt, I'm always going to have to agitate, even on the first go round. You know, I don't work for Zep. I don't know what's in this stuff. I know it's an alkaline cleaner, but holy crap, this stuff is just so impressive with cutting through grease and grime on an industrial level, farm equipment, engine bays, wheel wells, even used it on the synthetic rubber tire. It just works great. I've never had any issues with it. I wanted to pass it on to you guys. Again, I dilute it 5-to-1, 4-to-1 in a 32-ounce bottle. Seems to work really well. And at that dilution ratio, I just wanted to pass it on. It's just one of those things that it's right under our nose. It's sitting there at Lowe's. I don't know if you guys have tried it. You know, I don't deceive myself. I'm a huge fan of Meguiar's, huge fan of so many different auto detailing products, and many of them work amazingly well, and I have them in stock. But this is just a product here that I shake my head and go, I don't think Meguiar's Super Degreaser is as strong as this. Yet, I don't see any, you know, ill effects with it. I don't see plastic breaking down. I don't see paint going bad. I don't see rubber hoses falling apart. To me, it's just a great cleaner. I hope that kind of helps you. Sorry the video was a little shaky, but I'm trying to move around with this camera. I'll show some of the areas that I cleaned over here. Again, when you use any type of alkaline base cleaner and you're cleaning these plastics, they'll turn a little bit white. You got to go ahead and dress them. That's not a big deal. An all-purpose cleaner would do that. It doesn't matter. This plastic has begun to gas and vent. It's an old engine, but you just put some type of water-based dressing on it or stone or trim shine and it will look great. You can see this plastic doesn't vent at the rate as those hoses there, so it's fine. That back firewall, again, just simply spraying it, slightly agitating it, and then rinsing it off with water. It's so freaking impressive. All right, guys, I appreciate it so much. Thanks for your support. Just wanted to pass that on to you. Yes, at $10 a gallon, you don't have to buy Meguiar's Super Degreaser, and you can still get amazing results. Thanks, guys. Until next time, be safe.